Poetry holds the transformative power to distill life's most complex struggles into lessons that resonate deeply, guiding us to reclaim our identity and strength. A Look Pale for a Black Girl exemplifies this by confronting the legacy of oppression, from slavery and racism to the pervasive grip of mental slavery, while exposing how cultural expectations can confine us to a narrow definition of worth. Through its valid imagery and raw emotion, the poem teaches us that our true power lies not in the trauma imposed upon us, but in the resilience we foster when we rede- but in the resilience we foster when we redefine our narratives and rise above the chains of historical oppression. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Reaction Room with Amy Fortran on the Poetry Show. Today we'll be reacting to the poem titled I Look Pale for a Black Girl, written by Numba Chilanda. As usual, we're going to play the poem for you. That is, you go with me to the Poetry Show channel on YouTube, where we'll bring out the poem, play it, then we'll explain the life lessons we got from there.
I look pale for a black girl. I wear my clothes the same way I wear my insecurities. They do not show much. My body is no longer mine to own. I am a foreigner to my own being. My thighs are thick, hips curvy enough for childbearing, but my legs aren't long enough to take strides all the way to mama's room. The only place I can shed my insecurities to the bone nakedness of truth. The only place my soul finds security from the predator's tooth. And then there are the lies, the ones the broken parts of my brain keeps telling me that tradition knows best, that I should stop trying to do better or aim higher because my ambitions will taint my submission, that my worth is determined by the price put on my head, that my voice should not be heard because food doesn't talk. And you still sit there and ask me, why do I look pale for a black girl? How can't I? When I'm chained to compromise, when my heart is a weight of unspoken emotion because women aren't meant to complain, when my mind is in constant turmoil because being subjected to abuse is deemed virtuous, because a real woman doesn't show the world the bruises on her neck that look like hitting, but instead, whereas a result of a man's fury, his fangs deep into her throat, drinking her life out of her slowly. So how can't I look pale for a black girl when I've been soaked with lessons I didn't want to learn?
Welcome back. As we always do, we're going to play the poem again so that we can bring out the core messages embedded in this poem. Then afterwards we'll go to the life lessons.
I look pale for a black girl. I wear my clothes the same way I wear my insecurities. They do not show much. My body is no longer mine to own. I am a foreigner to my own being. My thighs are thick, hips curvy enough for childbearing, but my legs
My
aren't
body
long enough
is no longer mine. My body is no longer mine to own. In many patriarchal societies, the body of a woman is often treated as a canvas onto which cultural expectations are forcibly inscribed. The line, my body is no longer mine to own, encapsulates a profound sense of alienation, where a woman's physical self is diminished to a tool of reproduction and conformity. Here, worth is measured not by individuality or personal autonomy, but by how well one conforms to ideals of fertility and submissiveness, symbolized by childbearing hips and enforced silence. This reduction strips away the richness of a woman's identity, leaving her feeling as though she is merely a vessel designed to perpetuate societal norms, rather than a complete human being with dreams, emotions, and autonomy. This objection is not limited to any single culture. It is a recurring theme across various societies worldwide. From historical practices where women were confined to roles that prioritized lineage and obedience, to modern media narratives that continue to emphasize physical appearance over intellect and individuality, the legacy of dehumanization persists. In this context, the body becomes a site of control and commodification, where every aspect of a woman's being is scrutinized and policed. The disconnection felt by the speaker is a stark reminder that while trauma and oppression can shape our experiences, they should not dictate our essence. Recognizing this is the first step towards reclaiming autonomy and redefining identity beyond the narrow confines imposed by oppressive cultural expectations. Let's go back to the poem to bring out more core messages.
My soul finds security from the predators too. And then there are the lies, the ones, the broken parts of my brain keeps telling me that tradition knows best, that I should stop trying to do better or aim higher because my ambitions.
Tradition knows best. That's another core message we're able to get from here. When societies hold on to traditions that see ambitious women as troublemakers and silence them by treating them as if they are only good for cooking, serving, and not for speaking their minds, it creates a harmful cycle that continues for generations. Women are valued only for what they can do for others, expected to take care of everyone else without having any needs, wants, or ideas of their own. This hurts women individually because they have fewer chances in life and are more likely to be abused. It also hurts entire communities because they miss out on the intelligence, creativity, and economic contributions of half their population. This harmful pattern continues because the ideas are passed down through generations, often disguised as protecting women or defining proper roles. The result, as the poem says, is that women become pale, drained of their energy, their ability to make their own choices, and their true selves, all in the name of keeping up a system that benefits some at the expense of others, even though it's presented as simply preserving their culture. Let's go back to the poem.
Yeah, because my ambitions will taint my submission, that my worth is determined by the price put on my head, that my voice should not be heard because food doesn't talk. And you still sit there and ask me, why do I look pale for a black girl? How can't I? When I'm chained to compromise, when my heart is a wraith of unspoken emotion because women aren't meant to complain, when my mind is in constant turmoil because being subjected to abuse is deemed virtuous. because a real woman doesn't show the world the bruises on her neck that look.
The line, bruises on her neck that look like hickeys, powerfully reveals how some societies normalize violence against women by disguising abuse as passion or love. In many communities worldwide, women are taught to hide their suffering behind smiles, makeup, and excuses, preserving their abusers, preserving the abusers' reputations and the myth of family honor. This toxic expectation turns victims into unwilling accomplices in their own oppression, as they are conditioned to believe that a strong woman silently endures pain rather than speak up. The cultural messaging that women should protect men who harm them creates a dangerous cycle where abuse becomes invisible, allowing it to continue unchecked across generations. When bruises are reframed as love marks, society effectively trains women to accept violence as affection. Perhaps the most devastating form of gaslighting. Let's go back to the poem again.
But instead, were as a result of a man's fury, his fangs deep into her throat, drinking her life out of her slowly. So how can't I look pale for a black girl when I've been soaked with lessons I didn't want to learn?
Soaked with lessons I didn't want to learn. Soaked with lessons I didn't want to learn reveals how unwanted teachings gradually seep into our minds like water into fabric, showing that mental constraints aren't inherited but methodically taught through persistent messages and expectations. The poet uses pale as a powerful metaphor for how these forced lessons drain her vitality and authentic self, suggesting that when we absorb ideas that limit our potential, they literally diminish our life force, leaving us as faded versions of ourselves. This speaks to how oppressive cultural teachings can become internalized, affecting not just how others see us, but how we see ourselves. The poem explores themes of identity and trauma of disconnection from one's true self, mirroring down dehumanization of slavery. The poem speaker's alienation and lack of autonomy parallel the enslaved person's experience of being reduced to property. Both the poem and the legacy of slavery highlight the struggle to reclaim dignity and self-worth in the face of oppressive systems. The poem also connects to the lingering effects of slavery, showing how current cultural expectations around women's bodies echo the historical commodification and control of enslaved people, perpetuating a loss of self-ownership and identity. Now, let's give you the life lessons we're able to get from this poem. The theme of the life lessons we got is from victim to victor. The first lesson we're able to get from this is your trauma is valid, but your identity isn't trauma. The traumas of slavery and racism are undeniable and deeply felt, impacting not only those directly enslaved, but also their descendants. While these historical wounds are valid and must be acknowledged, it's crucial to avoid defining identity solely through the lens of trauma. Individuals and communities affected by slavery and racism possess rich and multifaceted identities that encompass resilience, creativity, and cultural richness. Focusing exclusively on suffering risks obscuring the strength, innovation, and vibrant traditions that have emerged from these experiences. Define identity. By embracing the totality of who they are, individuals can transform a legacy of pain into a source of resilience and hope. The second lesson we're able to get from this is traditions should empower, not erase. Traditions are the living archives of our shared histories, meant to empower us by preserving our unique identities, stories, and resilience. But tradition should empower, not erase. When we ask, does this cultural practice honor my humanity or shrink it? Taking back a cultural heritage means changing traditions that hold us back into things that empower us. We need to look closely at the customs we've inherited and decide if they truly celebrate our strength as a community or if they just keep us stuck in stories of past suffering. By choosing to value the practices that lift us up and recognize our shared humanity, we can move towards healing and unity. This ensures that our traditions show our strength, our diversity, and the lasting power of who we are, even when faced with injustice, both past and present. The third lesson we're able to get from this is mental slavery and its choices, a collective truth. Mental slavery goes beyond physical chains. It's a condition that seeps into our psyche, crafted by historical systems of oppression like slavery, racism, and colonialism. The media, politicians, and elites profit from amplifying our anger and helplessness, keeping us locked in a cycle of division and victimhood by continually focusing on past injustices. These forces distract us from the potential of collective healing, reinforcing societal hierarchies and preventing marginalized communities from uniting against the system that benefit from our disempowerment. Ultimately, mental slavery is the internalization of oppressive narratives that confine our thoughts and self-worth, making us feel perpetually limited and defined by external forces. Mental liberation is a choice, a decision to redefine our identity beyond imposed trauma. When we recognize our true worth is rooted in resilience rather than pain, we begin to reclaim power, transforming historical suffering into collective strength and unity. Breaking free requires challenging these imposed beliefs through self education and introspection, seeking supportive communities that uplift us, and embracing practices like mindfulness and creative expression to reclaim our true identity and power. Then the paradigm shifts here. Rewriting the script. Let's flip the script. Before you say, my culture defines me, now you can say, I redefine my culture. Before you can say, silence equals strength, but now you will say, my voice is my strength. Before you will say, endure to survive, but now you will say, challenge to thrive. See this? Our ancestors fought to break physical chains. Our fight is to smash the ones here. Step 1. Audit your beliefs. Write down every rule you have been taught about your worth, gender, or ambition. Ask, who benefits from me believing this? Step 2. Rewrite your narrative. Replace I must with I choose. I must stay silent. Replace it with I choose to speak when it matters. Step 3. Build your tribe. Find others rewriting their scripts. This isn't betrayal, it's evolution. Honor your roots, but never let them strangle your growth. Ready to move? Here's your playbook. Number 1. Trigger a tradition audit. At your next family gathering, ask, why do we do this? If the answer is because we always have, rethink it. Then number 2, boycott victimhood media. Unfollow accounts that thrive on outrage. Follow voices like at the poetry show. Then number 3, create your vitality manifesto. List what makes you feel alive. Post it where you see it daily. Mine says, I am not a lesson, I am a revolution. I want you to know that you are not pale. You are not a shadow. You are a wildfire. And no tradition, expectation, or mental chain can withstand your heat. So go, burn bright, rewrite your story. And when they ask, why do you shine so hard? Tell them, because I stopped asking for permission. This brings us to the end of our video for today. I want you to put in the comment section if there's any part of this reaction video that resonates with you or that you loved most. And make sure that you like the video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and click on the notification bell so that whenever we post our poems and reaction videos, you'll be the first to be notified. Before we end our video today, I'm going to recommend a book for you. The title of the book is Black Rednecks and White Liberals, written by Thomas Sowell. It's a book on how cultural behaviors and historical influences shape identity and self-perception. And the link to purchase the book will be in the description below. And also the link to the poem we just reacted to today will also be in the description below. Like I said before, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Bye for today. See you on the next video.